Snow fell softly on Christmas Eve as the city quieted for the holiday. Marcus Hartwell sat alone on a park bench, watching families hurry past with shopping bags and laughter. At 42, he was CEO of Hartwell Industries, worth hundreds of millions, and spending Christmas Eve completely alone in the cold because his empty penthouse felt worse. 3 years ago, his fiancée had left him, saying he was married to his work. She'd been right. He'd chosen another business trip over her sister's wedding, and that had been the final straw. Since then, Marcus had thrown himself even deeper into work until he'd looked up one day and realized he had everything except anyone to share it with. Children's voices pulled him from his thoughts. 3 little girls, identical triplets, maybe 4 years old, stood a few feet away, wearing matching pink coats and colorful hair bows. They were whispering intensely, glancing at him, clearly plotting something. Behind them, a young woman stood talking on her phone, distracted. She wore a cream-colored coat and looked stressed. One of the triplets, the boldest apparently, walked up to Marcus with determination. Her sisters followed, forming a line in front of him. "Excuse me, mister," the first girl said seriously. "Why are you sitting alone on Christmas Eve?" Marcus was taken aback. "I don't have anywhere else to be. Don't you have a family?" the second triplet asked. "No, just me." The third triplet looked devastated. "That's really sad. Everyone should have family on Christmas." Before Marcus could respond, the first girl pulled out a folded piece of paper from her coat pocket. "We made you something. It's our Christmas wish for you." She handed him the paper. And all 3 girls watched expectantly. Marcus unfolded it to find a drawing. 3 stick figures in pink coats, 1 tall figure, presumably him, and a woman figure all holding hands. Above it, in a child's handwriting assisted by an adult, it read, "Our Christmas wish, that the sad man finds a family. Love, Harper, Hadley, and Haven." Marcus felt his throat tighten. "You made this for me?" "We saw you sitting here yesterday, too," Harper explained. "You looked so lonely, so we asked Mommy to help us write a wish for you. We wished on a star last night," Hadley added. "We wished you'd find a family." "Because nobody should be alone on Christmas," Haven finished. The woman who'd been on her phone finally noticed her daughters were gone and rushed over. "Girls, you can't just bother people." "I'm so sorry, sir." She stopped, looking at the drawing in Marcus's hands. "Oh no, did they give you that?" "They did," Marcus said, his voice unsteady. He looked at the woman, late 20s, pretty in an exhausted way, with kind eyes that were currently mortified. "I'm Marcus, and your daughters just gave me the nicest Christmas gift I've received in years. I'm Olivia. These are Harper, Hadley, and Haven." She looked at her daughters. "What did we talk about?" "You can't just approach strangers." "But Mommy, he's sad," Harper insisted. "We had to help." "He's all alone on Christmas Eve," Hadley added. "Like how Daddy left us alone," Haven said quietly. Olivia's expression crumbled slightly. "Girls, that's different, is it?" Marcus found himself asking gently. "Because I am alone on Christmas. And your daughters saw that and decided to do something kind about it. That's remarkable." "They've been obsessed with this since they saw you here yesterday," Olivia admitted. "They insisted we come back today to give you that drawing. I thought they'd forget, but they're very determined." "Can we give him our other present?" Harper asked, tugging her mother's sleeve. "I don't think—" "Please, Mommy. It's Christmas Eve." Olivia hesitated, then nodded. The triplets pulled out a small wrapped package and handed it to Marcus. "We made you cookies," Hadley explained. "And Mommy helped." Marcus opened the package to find a tin of homemade Christmas cookies decorated with careful icing. "These are beautiful. Thank you. Will you eat them alone?" Haven asked with concern. "Or do you have someone to share them with?" "I was planning to be alone," Marcus admitted. The triplets looked at each other, then at their mother. "Mommy, can the sad man come have Christmas Eve dinner with us?" "Girls, I'm sure he has plans." "I don't," Marcus said quickly. "I don't have any plans. And if you're offering, I'd be honored." Olivia looked torn between social propriety and her daughter's pleading faces. "Are you sure? It's just spaghetti at our tiny apartment. Nothing fancy?" "Fancy is overrated," Marcus said, standing up. I'd love to come. The apartment was indeed tiny, a small two-bedroom that was clearly cramped for a mother and triplet daughters. But it was warm and decorated with handmade ornaments and smelled like cookies and pasta sauce. Over dinner, Marcus learned that Olivia was a kindergarten teacher, raising the triplets alone after her husband had left 2 years ago, claiming he couldn't handle being a father. She worked full-time and survived on a tight budget, giving her daughters everything she could while living with very little herself. "I saw you on that bench yesterday," Olivia admitted. "You looked so lost." The girls noticed too. They've been through their own loss, their father leaving, so they're very attuned to sadness in others. "They made me a Christmas wish," Marcus said, showing her the drawing again. "They wished I'd find a family. They're very empathetic for 4-year-olds. Sometimes too empathetic. They worry about everyone. You're raising remarkable children." After dinner, the triplets insisted Marcus help them hang their last ornament, a star for the tree. They made him read them a Christmas story. They asked if he'd be lonely when he went home. "Probably," Marcus admitted honestly. "My apartment is very quiet." "You should come back tomorrow," Harper said matter-of-factly. "For Christmas." "Girls, Mr. Marcus has his own." "I'd love to," Marcus interrupted. "If that's okay with your mom." Olivia looked at him, really looked at him, seeing past the expensive coat to the lonely man her daughters had recognized. "Okay, come for Christmas lunch." Over the following weeks, Marcus became part of their lives. He showed up for the triplets' kindergarten events, helped Olivia with bills, carefully, respectfully as partnership not charity, discovered that the family he'd been missing was a ready-made one that had found him on a park bench. "Why are you doing this?" Olivia asked one evening after the girls were asleep. "You're a CEO. You could have any life you want. Why spend time with a struggling single mother and her triplets?" "Because your daughters saw me alone on Christmas Eve and decided to do something about it. They made me a wish. They gave me cookies. They invited me into your home when I had nowhere else to go. They saw someone in need and they helped." Marcus took her hand. "That's not something I want to walk away from. That's something I want to be part of forever." 6 months after that Christmas Eve, Marcus proposed, to all 4 of them. The triplets helped design the ring and held signs reading, "Will you be our forever family?" At their wedding, the triplets, now 5, gave a speech they'd practiced with Marcus. "We saw a sad man on a bench on Christmas Eve," Harper said. "He was all alone and it was really sad." Hadley continued. "So we made him a wish and gave him cookies." Haven added, "And he became our daddy," they finished together, because Christmas wishes really do come true. Marcus told the guests about that snowy evening that changed his life. "I was spending Christmas Eve alone on a park bench," he explained. "Successful, wealthy, and completely empty. 3 little girls walked up and asked why I was alone. They gave me a drawing, a Christmas wish that I'd find a family. That wish came true, not because I found them, but because they found me. They saw someone who needed love and they gave it freely without hesitation. That's the greatest gift I've ever received," Olivia added. "My daughters have huge hearts because they know what loss feels like." When they saw Marcus alone, they recognized his pain. They decided to help. That decision changed all our lives. Gave my girls a father who adores them, gave me a partner who respects my independence while supporting our family, gave Marcus the family he'd been missing. All because 3 4-year-olds were brave enough to approach a stranger with kindness. Years later, Marcus would return to that park bench every Christmas Eve with Olivia and the girls, leaving cookies and Christmas wishes for anyone sitting there alone. "You were alone on that bench when we found you," the triplets would remind him. "I was," Marcus would agree, until 3 little girls in pink coats decided I shouldn't be. Until they made me a Christmas wish and invited me home. That's when I stopped being alone. That's when I became part of your family. Because sometimes the loneliest people are sitting in plain sight, waiting for someone to see them. Sometimes that someone is 3 4-year-old girls with more empathy than most adults. And sometimes a handmade drawing and a tin of cookies are exactly what a lonely CEO needs to remember that wealth isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in the people who care enough to say nobody should be alone on Christmas and mean it enough to do something about it. If this story warmed your heart, share and subscribe for more tales about the kindness that transforms lives. Comment about someone who saw your loneliness and chose to do something about it. Those people, often small, often young, always brave, remind us what Christmas and humanity are really about.